Swastiastu. My name is A.A.Ngurah Bagus Prananjaya Kuningan. The name is 2100 05531081. My lecturer is Bapak Profesor Dr. Tjokorda Gede Tirtha Nindhia ST.MT. The material is a casting process. Number one is a wire forming operation. Next, wire forming. Components made then a formed wire are useful when an open configuration, such as those used in baskets and fan or machine guards, is required. In many other applications, wire can provide an economical configurations, sometimes with a spring effect incorporated and sometimes as a rigid member. The example is the video. This is same as the bending process. This is sponge and die. This is a material. This is a result in a wire forming. The next is a manual forming of wire parts. Wire can be bent with hand pressed bending brakes, kicks process, or various fixtures with hinged or private elements. Since force required are low, bending tools similar or tube handles can be used. The example is video.
Hello, in this demonstration, we're going to once again show how a person can manually create a wire routing if you do not have SOLIDWORKS Premium and don't have access to the electrical routing module add-in. In a previous example I've posted on YouTube, I showed a simple example of creating a single wire route. We're going to add a little bit more complexity to this example, however, and show you a little variation on that. In this example, I've got a top-level assembly, but I've also gone ahead and placed a couple of 3-pin connectors that you can see highlighted in blue. It's our desire to route a wire between these two 3-pin connectors. But unlike the previous example where we just created the wire as its own part, this time we'd like the new cable to be a subassembly consisting of the two connectors plus the new part, the new wire part that we're about to create. Now that poses a little bit of a problem because if you look at our assembly structure, our top level assembly has those connectors already placed at the top level. In order for the connectors plus the wire to be their own subassembly, we're going to have to change the structure of this assembly. Now this is easy to do in SOLIDWORKS. So the first step we will do is to take our two connectors, so I'll pre-select using the Control Select technique. Like I'll right click and choose the option Form New Subassembly here. This will take those two parts.
Next is a wire forming in power process and special machine. By process, press back and form slide machines and other equipment can be performed with suitable tooling on wire workpiece. See sections C1, D1, D2, D12, H2, and I3, and K. The example in the video. This is a process wire forming in our process and special machines. This is a tool of punch and die. This is a material. This is like that. Next, G2, forming in 4 slide machines. Two applicable to the parts from wire or sheet metal strip. From slide machine have forming area for press slide set 90 degrees apart and driven by cams. There is also center post that can be shipped to the facilitate forming. Tools on the slides are designated to blank, pierced, notch, bend, form, emboss, and cut off the wire or strip as progress to the machine. This is a process in forming in 4 slide machines. This contoh. This is an example. This is a punch and die. This is a tool. This is a tool. And this is a die. This is a material. Like that. The next G3 spring forming. The example is a video. Same as the bending process. Or wire forming. This is an example in spring forming. Next, in used to change the cross section of main round wire in a rectangular, square, and special shapes can be imported to the wire by passing through opponent rolls arranged so that the opening between them is a shape cross-section delivered. This is a two head rolling of wire. This is a example. The picture is two heads rolling of wire. This is a rollers. This is a material. Is same as in a picture number 1. Next, hay tubing and sections operations. Number 1, tube spinning. Tubes can be spun to provide tapers of length by using metal spinning methods similar to those and used in spinning sheet metal. Other use are to thin the walls and increases the strength of tubular members. This is an example. The same as is a wire forming and a bending process. Okay. The next, one A, forward tube spinning. Sometimes Kellett tube stretching is a mean for increasing the depth of cooking puts of the length of cylindrical parts of tubing. The diameter is a constant, and the power spinning method is equivalent to the clear spinning. Okay, and force the metal to flow axially along in mandrel, increasing the length of the work gauge while decreasing of the thickness of the side walls. This is a picture of forward tube spinning. Okay, next. Backward tube spinning is the same as forward tube spinning, except that the forming tools moves in direction opposite is the to that of the expansion of the workspace. It's moved toward the headstock of the spinning ladder, and the workspace metal flows away from bedlocks as a shown in fact is a picture 2A 1B. This is example, the same as example in a forward bending. This is a process of a backward tube spinning. Okay, next. Head to tube and section bending. Draw bending is used in bending tubing and a section on horse. The workspace in is held against a bending formed by a shaped clamp. As the bending form and clamp rotate together, the workpiece is pulled or drawn around the form, and against pressure the wash form also measures cross sections on the workpiece. The example is this is a process, the draw bending.
Another form of bending is rotary draw bending. Can start off being a basic hand bender. The thing with rotary draw bending is that every radius, every diameter requires new dies. You need new wiper die, you need new bender die, new clamp dies. So if you're going to do this kind of work, it's usually for production run quantities. What it does do is it bends nice
It's a
tight
step
diameters.
draw bending.
One of the problems with it is with the nice tight diameters, and this kind of work is
Yes, same as today's video.
They're not able to.
Okay, next. Compression bending is similar to draw bending, but the forming block and cam do not rotate. Instead, the pressure die is replaced by a wiper, shin, shoe, or fitted roller which moved along the periphery of the stationary bending form. This is a picture of compression bending. Draw bending tubing. This is same as the bending process of tubing. The form block or rotated with tubing camped to it. Okay, next. Ram and press bending is a method applicable of tubing, bar, and other sections, and is illustrated in 2A3C. A forming block is attached to the ram of a hydraulic press. Okay, this is a picture of ram and press bending process. This is a pivoted wiping shoes. This is a bending. This is a punch and workpiece. This is a die. Next, stretch bending. The stretch forming method of for sheet metal described above in section F3. This is a stretch bending. This is rotated. This is a material. Okay. Next, wrinkle bending is a method for bending large, heavy wall, tubing, or pipe. It is applicable to valve conditions and it can be done by hand with no special tooling. One side of the tubing is heated locally by gas touch to the point where the tubing wall softens. This is a process.
All right, we want to take a minute here. We're going to talk and show bending on compression benders, the difference between traditional smooth radius dies and wrinkle control dies. The reason for a wrinkle control die is to bend a thinner wall material or harder material such as stainless steel. So we're going to start, we're going to bend with a 5-inch radius and we're going to work our way down into smaller radiuses. So we'll start with a traditional 5-inch compression die. The first material that I have is an 065 wall, 2-inch diameter aluminized material. This would be a normal bend that you would get out of this type of bender and normal tool. It's a nice smooth bend. We're going to take all these bends to 100 to 125 degrees.
Okay. Next, roll bending. It is a means putting in gentle bendel tubing, pipe hearts, rolled, extruded shapes, plates, and sheets. This is a picture of our roll bending. This is a material roller. Okay, next. Roll extrusion bending. This method is use a large heavy walled pipe. One wall of the pipe is wagged from the inside, casing it to a length and the pipe to head. Pipe of 5 to 12 in 1 to 5 to 300 millimeter can be bent with this method to a minimum bend of 3 times the diameter. Okay, next. Bulging and mechanical is an operation that expands a portion of a tubular or cylindrical part. Okay, this is example. This is a Pond's die. This is a material. Okay, this is a material. Okay, next, bulging and hydraulic. Expands tubing pipe of a cylindrical part by applying internal force with a pressurized liquid on or an clastometer or laudarometer, rubber or polyurethane sponge. This is a picture of bulging and hydraulic. This is former tubular workpiece. This is a die. This is a punch. This is a material. And is same as number 2. Other methods, bulging tubing. Most of the high energy rate forming methods described in section G can be employed to expand tubular workspace. The example. Okay, this is the this is a result. This is a result of the other method of bulging tubing. Okay. Next, non-sheet forming operations. Shearing of bars, air, and other non-flat shapes. Alligator shears or C-section C1B are commonly used for shearing bars and other sections to lengths, tooling shears, and vertical process are another alternative in shapes where there is much bar shearing. The blades of guillotine shears may be matched or grooved to aid in maintaining the location of the workspace during cutting. The next, cold heating. In process for upsetting the end of the rod wire or bar is commonly used from productions of bolt. Okay, this is a example. Okay, this is a head formed in punch. This is head formed in die. This is punch and die, and this is a between punch and die. This is a die, block and punch. This is a kick out pin, and the process is a cold heating. Okay, this is a video of thread rolling. This is a punch and die. This is a thread rolling. This is a tool. This is punch and die. This is a material. Okay. Next, impact or cold extrusions forms a part of some length by plastic flow of metal under compressive stress into an opening of limited size. The process is normally referred to as impact extrusion when non-ferrous metal are involved and cold extrusion. Okay, this is a picture of cold extrusions. Okay, this is punch die. Okay, in number A, this is a backward extrusions. Number B, forward extrusions, and C, combined to the usually called the and backward and forward extrusions. Okay. Backward extrusions. Okay, the next forward extrusion in this process, sometimes called hunker process, to the workspace metal flows forward or normally downward. Okay, this is an example.
The primary type of hot extrusion is direct or forward extrusion. Indirect extrusion, the hot billet is loaded into a thick wall container and forced through an extrusion die secured in a holder. The force for extruding is applied by a ram, along with an intermediate reusable dummy block. Metal flow from the die is in the same direction as the forward motion of the ram. Since the surface of the billet length slides along the wall of the container, extrusion force depends on the friction between the billet length and the container and the material. The friction portion of the force can be reduced by using lubrication. Force increases rapidly as the billet is upset to fill the container, then increases further as breakthrough force before extrusion begins. Upon breakthrough, the force declines as billet length decreases until a minimum force is reached. As the billet thins, the force rapidly rises again to continue metal flow radially toward the die opening. Resistance to deformation or force requirements increase markedly as the thickness of the butt or unused billet portion decreases toward the die opening. Hot extrusion is most commonly performed.
Combined extrusions is both forwards and backward impact extrusion and the same time one parts as shown in Fig 214C. Okay, this is a example of combined extrusions. Okay, that is all, and thank you. Om Santi 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 Om.